welcome to our garden. This week we're putting in a worm tower.
Okay, Etienne, wat gaan ons nou hierso doen? Dieselfde, né? What do you think is good about us putting this in? Where do you think is a good spot?
Good spot is here somewhere.
There, I think there. Okay, so let's dig a hole. Okay, why do you think this is good? What does worms do to the soil? Firstly, what are we putting in? What is this called?
A worm tower.
A worm tower, yes, well done. And a worm tower, all it does is just provide a house for the worms. What we want is the worms to go in here. We're going to put the worms in here, and what they will do through these holes will go into the soil and then move around. And what's worm poo called?
Worm poo is called
Castings. Worm castings. And worm castings is probably the best fertilizer that we can give plants. Hey? It's the best fertilizer. So instead of us composting the whole time and bringing the soil from the worm farm, what we can do is make each bed fertilize itself. So this worm tower helps us self-fertilize the beds. So that's why I'm putting them in the tractor tires. Works really, really nicely for that. Eventually, what we're going to do is once we empty those worm bins, we'll take the worms out. And what did we find in here? Apart from the worms?
Worm eggs.
Worm eggs, yes. So we'll take the compost worm eggs. These are composting worms. Earthworms like to live in the earth. Composting worms like to live in compost, but not that kind of compost. Remember, that kind of compost gets really, really hot. So that will kill the worms. So what we'll do is with the worm farm, once the soil is full of castings, we'll take the worms out, because remember, worms don't like sun. Hey, so we'll slowly expose some of the worm farm to the sun, and the worms will move, and we'll only feed in one place, and eventually all the worms will come there, and then we'll take it out. Then that soil, the worm casting soil, will be full of worm eggs. Then we'll put it into the compost, the compost that's already cooled down, because remember, the compost gets really hot, then it starts to cool down again. Okay, once it starts to cool down, then we can take that worm castings, which also has the worm eggs, mix it in with the compost, and then we can put it in the bed. That way we can start to put worms in the garden. How's that for a plan? Okay, let's put this in. Okay, see, wait. You see this hole? We need to be careful that the top hole is below this level. So what we need to do is maybe dig a little higher, or push this down. That's perfect. So let's no. Remember, with that other one we had extra soil left over. Okay, so let's put that in with as many worms as we can. Put all the worms in there, please. And eventually, more and more worms will go into this bed, and it will start fertilizing. Already this is compost, so this is first class. So what we're going to do with this orange and the lemon tree, they'll just carry on with their lives, getting self-fertilized. When we want to water the lemon tree and the orange tree, we'll put water in the compost and the worm tower, and then it'll go straight to the lemon tree. But the rest of it, what I want to plant here is a plant. What I want to plant here is asparagus, something that we don't have to worry about, or maybe some herbs. Oh, here we go. Here's some biochar. That's a video in itself. This biochar, it's miracle stuff. Anyway, Google it. Okay, is everything in?
No, not yet.
Okay, the rest of it, put it over here next to. So then these worms can go into the worm tower if they choose to. Okay. Now we can cover. Okay, take the shade cloth. Why do we put the shade cloth on? To protect the worms. Perfect, from other insects and stuff, and stop the flies getting.
And the sun.
Yeah, and the sun. But also stop, because eventually, let me help you. Eventually, how we're going to feed the worms is we'll just put a little bit of food scraps here from the kitchen, like leftover carrots and potato peels and things. We'll just put a little bit in here, so the worms can always come back to get some food and then come back into the tire. That's the plan. Pee and poo, put the worm castings in there. Okay, and we can put, and why we use shade cloth instead of anything else is so we can put water through here and I don't have to take it out. Okay, perfect. You could say that, yeah. No, actually, this is the worm house. We're hoping the worms will come out of the worm house to poo in here. Tea and coffee's ready. There we go. One last thing we need to do, Tian, is put mulch on. Remember the mulch? What's mulch?
Mulch is that good stuff.
The grass. The grass and stuff we put on top to protect the bed, to protect the soil. Okay? Give me 5. Well done. Okay, let's go get some tea and coffee, and then we'll go fetch the mulch. Okay, daar is ons. Van die perde af. Vat 'n bietjie and put it on top. Evan, what is this?
Mulch.
Ja, okay, you're correct, it's grass. Maar hoe gebruik ons dit? Ons gebruik dit soos 'n mulch, nee? Ja. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, Etienne taking his initiative to go and raspberry the whole world. Yeah, please like and subscribe to the channel. You're welcome to share the links. It helps us show what we're up to. Anyway, yeah, till the next one.